Hello, today I'm going to discuss a topic that many lesbians and women who love women often ponder. And they want to know, where are the lesbians? And I want to title this video, Why Finding Lesbians is So Hard. My name is Giselle Wallace, lesbian life coach and author, and I do provide my lesbian perspective here on my YouTube channel. And if that interests you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Why finding lesbians is so hard? Well, if you look at the numbers, according to the United States Census Bureau, they usually measure sexual orientation. And the majority of people identify as heterosexual, and the minority of people identify as homosexual. And to give you a general consensus, it says that 90% of people identify as heterosexual, and the other 10% of people identify as homosexual. But here's the twist. That 10% of people who identify as homosexual consist of both males and females. So you have to split that 10% in half, which means that only approximately 5% of people identify as homosexual females, which is also called lesbians. So we're looking at a number of 5% of lesbians that identify as homosexual, lesbians. That's not too many people, but it still is in the millions. So there's still a lot of lesbians, but finding them is the challenge. It's really hard. And I'm going to give you a little bit of insight why finding lesbians is so hard. Of course, you already know we're looking at 5% of lesbians. But what is the underlying reason behind why you're having a difficult time finding lesbians? And women who love women, they are very interested in meeting lesbians. Lesbians are women who are exclusively attracted to women emotionally, mentally, physically, sexually, and spiritually. We're very rare. I identify as a lesbian. And I know that being a lesbian is not common at all. Most people that I meet identify as heterosexual. And there are some people who identify as bisexual. But lesbians, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. And often when people meet me, they're very surprised to learn that I identify as a lesbian. And I usually get people who ask me a lot of questions, and it's because they're curious, and some people rarely meet lesbians, so they want to know as much as possible about lesbians while they have the opportunity of being able to speak to one. And being a lesbian is very unique, and I enjoy being a lesbian. I enjoy being myself, even though I know that I live in a society that is primarily dominated by people who identify as heterosexual. And there's not many lesbians that you spot every day. Some people think that they can easily see a lesbian by the way she dresses. And although that may be true to a certain extent, it's not always accurate. Most people say that they can tell a woman is a lesbian because she looks masculine, according to the way she dresses. She may dress in attire that is for males. Maybe she has a very short hairstyle. Maybe they think that she is a lesbian because she has a very masculine walk. She might be a lesbian, but she might not be, because there are actual women who are very tomboyish or masculine or butch in appearance, and they actually identify as heterosexual. So physically looking at a woman is not always the answer in finding a lesbian. But yes, there are women who identify as lesbians and they're tomboyish or masculine in appearance. So how do you find a lesbian? Well, the truth is, the only way that you find a lesbian is if a lesbian tells you that she is a lesbian. You could be talking to a lesbian and not know that she is a lesbian. There's stereotypes that the world uses as gauges to know who is a lesbian. And I've already mentioned one. They say if she dresses like a male, then she is a lesbian. But that is a stereotype. There are lesbians who are feminine in appearance. They are often called femmes or lipstick lesbians, and you physically cannot look at them and tell that they are lesbians, but they are lesbians. And another way that you will be able to know that a lesbian is a lesbian is if she is exclusively dating women only, and she has no attraction or desire to be with a man. But it's going to take a little bit of probing and getting to know a woman in order for you to know that she is a lesbian. Because being a lesbian is not something that is just physical, meaning you cannot look at a person and tell that they are lesbian. And you have to get to know a person. And that takes time, as well as it also takes a mutual agreement between at least two people to have a conversation about a person's sexual orientation. But the bottom line is, you want to know why finding lesbians is so hard. Well, many lesbians are aware that we live in a society that's not always very kind about people who are gay or homosexual. And being a woman or a female, you are often considering your safety. So many women will not even disclose to you that she is a lesbian because she is trying to protect herself. She's trying to protect herself from people who do not like homosexual people. She's trying to protect herself from people who are very disrespectful and mean-spirited. Sometimes you just want to go on with your day and not have to deal with someone who wants to debate your sexual orientation. There are people who will literally argue with you about you being a lesbian because they believe that being a lesbian is unnatural or that being a lesbian is immoral. There are all kinds of people in this world, but many people are very one-track minded and limited in their thinking as well as their experiences, and they find it difficult to believe that lesbians actually exist. But we do exist, and we live in a heteronormative society, and we are very aware, and that makes us very cautious as well as protective of ourselves as lesbians. We also, as women who love women, lesbians are very picky. We're very observant about the women that we meet. And a woman, for example, may be paying attention to the way another woman carries herself. She may be listening to the conversations that this woman conducts. She is observing a woman because it helps her to kind of get an idea of what kind of woman who she is interested in or attracted to. Being a lesbian, you are aware that there are other women in the world who identify as lesbian just like you. So we know that there's other lesbian women who exist, but we also know that not every woman is a lesbian. And so we spend a lot of time observing women before making a move as far as introducing ourselves to women, because we are aware that not all women identify as lesbian. So we spend a lot of time observing, monitoring our environment, listening to women, paying attention to their demeanor, their attitude, and just the way they think. And pretty much, if the woman passes our evaluation, then we may introduce ourselves. And some of us are bold enough to ask a woman out on a date. And once we find out that the woman is mutually interested in us, then we're going on a date. And being a lesbian is very interesting. It's an interesting experience. It's a very complex, unique experience because there's not too many of us. And we also are aware that many people, and I'm actually looking at the time because I have a client that I'm going to coach, so bear with me. And I appreciate you for being here. But being a lesbian is very different because most people identify as heterosexual. And also, most women are attracted to men. So a woman could be heterosexual, which means she's exclusively interested in men. But there are also women who are fluid in their sexuality. So they may be bisexual or pansexual or demisexual. And these women have an interest in both genders. But what makes lesbians so rare is the fact that we are the only women who are exclusively attracted to women. Let's go back to that 5%. So there's only 5% of lesbians. And because we're so rare, we actually are in high demand. Many women who love women desire to be with lesbians. And there are women who have a special interest in being with a woman who is a lesbian. And the reasons for that vary. But for example, there are women who are able to relate more to lesbians because they believe that they have more in common with a lesbian woman. Maybe it's because she knows more about living in a world where people can be very homophobic and closed-minded about lesbians, and they have that in common. But it also could be just the attraction that a woman has in a lesbian. Lesbians stand out. They're very different. They have a energy that is different from other women. Yes, all women are women, but we think differently as women because our sexual orientation requires for us to think differently, and we experience life differently. Simply because a woman who identifies as a lesbian is not attracted to or interested in men, and she does not have relationships with men, that automatically makes her stand out from all other women. And some women feel that being with a lesbian is a very special experience because we don't have the popularity that most women have. So we're not popular in the sense of you don't hear about us in the media or the news. And just everyday life, like if you're at work, you never hear about lesbians. Nobody has conversations about lesbians. If you're in school, you don't really hear people have conversations about lesbians or talking about lesbians. At home, if you are in an environment where everybody is heterosexual, you won't hear a conversation about lesbians. You don't know much about us. So a lot of women are curious about us, and they enjoy our company. They enjoy our personalities and our energy. And they are really interested in finding lesbians. But you will find a lesbian as long as you stay focused on attracting lesbians. And what I mean by that is you have to get involved in certain activities that are places and events where lesbians are. So maybe you can join a membership or a group where lesbians are. And I'll give you one place you can do that. I am a life coach, and I offer same gender loving group coaching. And I meet together with same gender loving people. There's various lesbians in my group coaching sessions. That's a wonderful way for other lesbians to meet. And you can meet as friends, or you maybe meet a future girlfriend or wife. But I also am an instructor of my academy, and my academy is called Giselle Wallace Lesbian Academy. And I actually will have future meetings and events exclusively for lesbians to meet together, because I understand we are a very small group of people, and we want to connect with like-minded women, and we need time to be able to fellowship and be around women who have the same interests, the same goals and passions in life. And so that is definitely a way that you'll be able to meet lesbians. Become a part of my group coaching. Sign up on Giselle Wallace Lesbian Academy. My contact information is here on YouTube in the description box. And you can actually sign up on my mailing list as well. My mailing list is also in my description box, because right now my mailing list, although I have not provided emails lately, it's only because I am in process of rebranding. But you want to get on my mailing list, because as soon as I'm done rebranding, I will be sending out emails which will keep you updated with events and resources that I will be heavily promoting and informing you about. But you can only get this information if you're on my mailing list. So I would love to see you there. Make sure that you open yourself up to other opportunities to be able to meet women. And you can do that. And I'm about to meet with my client here in just a moment, who actually is a lesbian woman. And so be around people who are involved in activities and events that are attractive to you. So if you want to meet women who are educated, go to events that involve women who are in the educational sector. So, for example, there's many women who are in college. Women love learning. They're in university. They go to different conferences. You can nowadays enroll in courses. As I already mentioned, I'm an instructor with Giselle Wallace Lesbian Academy. Find avenues where you can get involved and you're educating yourself, you're enlightening yourself, and you're meeting other like-minded women like you who identify as lesbian. And be online, be on social media. And I'm not referring to dating. I'm not referring to online dating. I'm referring to just be on social media and have an account with your profile picture, have an account with your biography. It doesn't have to be a book. Just provide a very specific, short, detailed explanation and description of yourself. Post your pictures, post reels and videos. This is how women will find you. They are looking for you. And I usually am very obvious that I'm a lesbian because I'm a life coach and an author and an instructor. So people find out very quickly that I'm a lesbian. But there's women who put in their profile bios that they're a lesbian. So when you do this, you will naturally attract other women. And use the DMs. Your direct messages are there for a reason. Use emails. Your emails are there for you to use them. So I hope this helps you. Yes, it is hard to find lesbians, but it is also possible to find lesbians. I mean, you're watching a lesbian right now. I appreciate you for watching and listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you have a beautiful day. My name is Giselle Wallace. Thank you.